Are you serious right now, bro?
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first video of the Merrick's channel. I'm your host, King.
And it's your boy, Jermaine.
Now we're going to be taking a deep dive into the Simpventures of Sanji. I'm pretty sure majority of you who have watched One Piece, or technically all of you who have watched One Piece, definitely knows who Vince Sanji is. But if you don't, and you're not a fan, I'll definitely advise you to watch that shit, because it's pretty interesting. But if you don't have the time, I will give you a brief and a simple summary of who this guy truly is.
Ladies and gentlemen, anime fans, scholars of foolishness, and certified observers of romantic embarrassment, let us talk about one of the most dangerous men sailing the seas of One Piece, and also one of the most down catastrophic.
Score 1 point for me.
Now this man Sanji right here is not just some random background pirate. Oh no, this is the official chef of the Straw Hats Pirates. Meaning, while everybody else is out there fighting warlords, toppling governments, and causing international incidents, this man is making sure the squad eats 3 meals a day and doesn't die from starvation before the boss fights. He's one of their strongest fighters, a tactical genius when mission gets serious, a calm professional under pressure, and a man with a personal code so strong he'd rather lose a fight than break his principles. Raised through hardship, trained in discipline, loyal to his crew, protective of the weak. On paper, this man is elite, certified top tier. But unfortunately, greatness always comes with a glitch in the system. Because the same man who can kick a building in half will also short circuit like a broken robot the moment a pretty woman says hello. Brain, gone. Strategy, deleted. Combat awareness, uninstalled. This man will go from elite operative to heart-eyed cartoon character in 0.2 seconds flat. So yes, Sanji is a warrior, a gentleman, a master chef, and one of these Straw Hats' most reliable pillars. But he is also the Grand Line's most decorated, most dedicated, and the most determined simp.
Exactly, bro. Like, Sanji just got that one flaw that just completely messes him up. But anyways, guys, it's time to check out 5 different moments where Sanji was just being a complete simp and a straight-up horn dog.
Alright people, you see this weak looking nigga over here? His name is Full Body Sun. Now I have no idea why he gave himself that name, cause looking at him alone is like, what? Your aesthetic doesn't fit your name, bro. How the hell you give yourself the name Full Body Sun and you look less than half the size of your actual name? It makes no sense. Now he's looking over his woman, having fine dining with her, and the people around are looking at him like, yeah, that's the man, that's the guy. And he's feeling himself. And he does have some right to feel some type of way, because he's part of the strongest force in the world. But then, Sanji walks up to the couple, hands them a bottle, and pours some drinks into their cup. And our Full Body looks at the people, and looks at Sanji, and is acting so high, stating some details about the wine. And after making himself look absolutely big, Sanji just looks at him, holds his hand and says, "Nah, bro, you're completely wrong." Now he's looking utterly embarrassed, and the people over are hiding their laughs, which they should, because you don't want trouble with Full Body Sun. But originally I was like, bruh, you could have just taken the wine, had a drink with your lady, and move on. The people would admire you regardless, but he had to make a fool of himself. And his old lady was looking at him, laughing a bit, he's acting embarrassed. And I was like, maybe he'll move on. maybe, just maybe, he'll forget everything that happened, enjoy the food with his lady, and keep it pushing. But no, bro's ego had to step in. And I'm just like, oh, brother, let's see what he has to do. Now, he looks over, sees a roach on the ground, and I'm like, nah, you're really not going to do this, are you? This guy picks up the roach, puts it in soup, and that starts making a hell of a noise in the restaurant, claiming that they're unhygienic, their food is bland, and trying to make a fool out of Sanji. And Sanji is not the type of person to take that very well, especially if you ruin his food. But then, Sanji steps back, looks over to the girl, and is like, yo, shorty, are you gonna follow me to drink some wine? And I literally had my jaw dropped. Because I'm like, bruh, your restaurant is on the verge of getting closed. And the first thing you're thinking is to get your customer's girl to have a drink with you? Seriously? Are you really that obsessed with women that you don't care about your job, but you think about having your customer's girl for a little drink? Now, Full Body looks at the situation and is extremely pissed. Now, personally, I don't blame him because it's like, bro, you're trying my girl. Why are you doing that? But then you have to recall, this is Sanji. You destroy his food, you stop him from talking to a girl, and then you grab him by the collar. Brother, that will never end well, especially when it's related to food. Sanji just looks up and absolutely decimates this guy from top to bottom with his legs alone. So for me, it was a full lose-lose situation for Full Body. On one hand, he could have let Sanji take his girl, everyone would look at him like a weak man, or he could retaliate, destroy the table, destroy the food, try Sanji, and then still get decimated and embarrassed in front of everyone, making his position look weak and utterly sad. It sucks, but Sanji, you need to do better. Alright bro, this has to be one of the most disturbing scenes I've seen Sanji in. Now I would assume that he wants everyone to go home safely and wants the key back. He enters into the room, looks around, sees it's a girl's room, the door shuts. Khalifa walks in all confidence and asks him, would you like some tea? Now I'm looking at Sanji like, this is your enemy. You better steady them hands, boy, or them legs. You know this girl wants to kill you. Why not just ditch the whole gentleman act and actually show this girl what them legs do? This brother looks back with his heart rate dropping very low and goes, now after the whole charade, he eventually comes back to his senses and starts demanding the key back. And I'm thinking, okay, this should go well. But then she tells him, I kept it somewhere in my body. Why not find out for yourself? Bro's looking at her like, don't threaten me with a good time, baby. Let me look. And I was so disappointed. He looked like he was in the zone and just had to mess everything up again. You had one job, Sanji. Just one job. You were locked in, but then you decided to mess it all up. Giving air kicks that couldn't even hit the girl. Just showing off that he could hurt her, but wouldn't actually do it. But she's not taking the bait, bruh. She's not. Finger pistols my dog. Pause. Kicked and beat the absolute life out of him. Bro was out here looking like something that came out of a badly edited Barbie action movie. Now we have Nami coming in, looks over and sees Sanji in his dull state. And she's wondering, Sanji is very strong. How come he was beaten this badly? Until she looks up and sees Khalifa. And then it clicks. And she looks over Sanji. Are you sure this woman actually beat you up? Or you let her? And then Sanji is like, even if I'm about to die, Even if it costs me my life, I won't kick a woman. Bro, are you serious? Naomi gives him some satisfying hits to the head, which I approve. She acknowledges his chivalry, but bro had to take it another way and was like, ain't she in love with me? Like, dude, come on. You almost got beaten to death. The least you can do is shut up and just go to the back and get treated. Straighten up and stop being such a die-hard woman chaser.
Alright, so the Straw Hats make it to Trilobark, which is an island that somehow became a ship. Anyways, they get there just to discover that the place is freaking haunted, and now they gotta fight this big eggplant looking nigga named Gecko Moria, who has the Kage Kage no Mi devil fruit that allows him to create zombies through corpses using a person's shadow. The Straw Hats organize a plan to take him down. Sanji was given a separate mission to rescue Nami, who's been kidnapped by a half-lion, half-human-looking MF by the name Absalom. This nigga Absalom was planning to make Nami his bride or some shit, and the glorious Simp Lord Sanji wasn't having none of that. Bro was told that Absalom ogled at Nami while she was taking a bath, and he started flaming like crazy. So Sanji finally goes after Absalom and both of them get right into it. But I ain't gonna lie though, Sanji be steady making this nigga's ass, talking about how both of them got some bad blood between them and how Absalom stole one of his dreams. This nigga is literally pissed off at Absalom because he had the Claire invisible devil fruit, which he always wanted since he was a kid. But that isn't all. Did you hear what this simp nigga was trying to use it for?
俺は夢を馳せた。もしそうなったら、その能力で女湯！いや、どんなことをしてみようかと。女湯！いや、どんな風に人の役に立とうかと。女湯！ほぼ女湯覗くことで頭いっぱいだ！
Damn, this nigga is something else, bruh. He on some it should have been me type shit, bruh. I just can't with this nigga. After the Straw Hats went through hell on Sabaudi Archipelago Island, they were all sent off to different locations by Kuma. Sanji ends up on Memorial Island where he meets the Okamas, and might I say, this is Sanji's worst nightmare. No woman to be seen or found anywhere. That nigga was freaking out hard. I know that boy went through some serious trauma on that island. He ends up spending 2 full years there, then it was time to leave and meet up with the rest of the Straw Hats at Sabaudi. As soon as he gets there, he meets up with Silver Rayleigh and his wife Shaky. They have a little chit-chat. Rayleigh starts talking about how he can't wait to see how much progress Luffy has made since he hasn't seen him for like 6 months. And this MF Sanji was like, of course he ain't alright, Rayleigh. You just saw a nigga bleeding out of his nose while imagining how much progress Nami has made. This nigga Sanji is worse than a simp at this point. Bro is just extremely down bad. So dude goes into the market to shop for some foodstuffs, and then he comes across different ladies there. Bro starts acting like he never seen a woman before in his life. He just there like,
It's beautiful! I need a lady!
Dude's been starved for like 2 years straight. But I gotta let him off the leash for this one, cause I'm surprised how this nigga is still alive after spending 2 years on an island with no woman on it. It's crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a little look into the Fishman arc, cause this part was something else entirely when it comes to the Straw Hats adventures. Now Luffy and his crew members arrive on Fishman Island and everything is looking pretty good. Now Sanji begins to lose it, which is very typical. He looks over at the mermaids and he's like, all my dreams and aspirations of finding the all blue have gone down the drain. I'm like, what? Brother, all because of some mermaids. Come on, man.
Some mermaids start teasing his goofy ass, so he takes his clothes off and jumps right into the water with him. It's pretty clear this nigga just found his paradise right here. Like, look at him, all happy and shit. So these little mermaids called the MacLeod sisters show up. They inform Kami over here that the royal family ship is coming. Apparently, the Straw Hats illegally entered the island when they first came in. So it's quite clear that the royal family is now in search of the Straw Hats. Kami immediately tells the Straw Hats to hide themselves so they don't get caught by the royal family. one of the mermaids grabs Sanji and hides him in her. Anyways, so the royal family ship arrives and these three niggas known as the Neptune brothers by the name Fukaboshi, Ryoboshi, and Manboshi emerges from the ship and they start asking questions about if the Straw Hats were in that area. And what's about to happen next? I kid you not, this nigga Sanji is trifling. The Neptune brothers take their leave the moment they couldn't spot the Straw Hats in the vicinity. And then this nigga Sanji started freaking out. Ladies and gentlemen, this nigga did the craziest thing ever, bruh.
Are you serious right now, bro?
He literally gushes out a stream of blood out of his nose. Like, what the fuck? I'm just looking at this and I'm astonished at how this type of shit can even happen to anybody at all. Bro just lost so much blood to the point that his life was on the verge of jumping off a cliff. The Straw Hats start searching for someone in the Fishman Island who would donate blood to save this nigga's life. Come on, man. You really are about to die for some Yeeties, bruh? Oh my goodness, man.
Alright guys, we've finally come to the end of this video. We might make a part 2 of this, so if you think we should, definitely drop it down in the comment section. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share to all your friends. Stay blessed. Peace.